Good morning, dear students. Welcome to another session of microwave and antenna. So in previous session, we started off with the microwave concepts in which we discussed regarding the transmission line equations and solution to the transmission line equations, and we discussed regarding what are the microwave devices, what does the microwave system consist of. Then apart from that, the different bands which are present in the microwave. So we discussed that, and then we discussed regarding reflection coefficient and transmission coefficient. So in today's session, we'll start off with the antenna basics, in which we'll be discussing multiple aspects, such as first of all, what is meant by antenna, then what is meant by isotropic antenna, what are the different kinds of antenna which is present, what is meant by radiation pattern, what is radiation resistance, then what are the different definitions which we can have for antenna. Then we'll be discussing around what is directivity, gain, how we can obtain directivity and gain of a given antenna, what are the different ways in which we can identify those things. Then apart from that, we'll be discussing Frisch transmission formula. Lastly, we'll be discussing regarding the field zones. That is, with respect to antenna, what are the different field zones which are present? That is Fresnel zone and Fraunhofer zone. So those are the parameters what we'll be discussing, and these basics will be helpful even in your antenna experiments, which we deal in communication lab. So first of all, starting with the antenna, all of us have come across this term, what is antenna. So in antenna, if we just observe, we are utilizing antenna in one or the other way. Say if you're using a mobile phone, signals are being transmitted. How the transmission happens? It happens with the help of the antenna. And how does the reception of the signal happen? It happens because of the antenna which is present. Say you have a patch antenna in your mobile phone, and that patch antenna will be helping you to transmit and receive the signals. So antenna basically helps in transmission of signals from one point to the other point. So this is a layman's point of view as to what we call an antenna. But when we go ahead, right, when we want to define it in a particular way, then what we define is an antenna will be a physical entity. An antenna will be a physical entity which would be radiating electromagnetic wave or electromagnetic energy. It will be radiating electromagnetic wave or electromagnetic energy in the space which is surrounding that antenna. So this is the general definition of the antenna. An antenna is a physical quantity or physical entity which radiates electromagnetic energy into the space which is around that antenna. So this is with respect to, in general, what is meant by antenna. But what do we call an isotropic antenna? So before going into that, we should know what is actually radiation pattern. So it is actually related to the electromagnetic energy which is being spread around the antenna. It is the electromagnetic energy which is spread around the antenna. So for example, I had just opened one web page. So all of us have seen different antennas, right? So we have seen different kinds of antennas. So here we can see different antennas which are present. For example, this is a parabolic antenna. This is a combination of the Yagi-Uda antenna, which is an array structure. So then we have the spiral antenna, that is the helical antenna. So these are different antennas which are present. This is the antennas which you used to see in the olden days. That is when we used to watch out Doordarshan, right? So that time we used to use these kind of antennas, which is called as Yagi-Uda antenna, which will be having a director and a reflector along with a dipole. So this is the antenna. So when we consider any antenna, what is the energy at any given point? Say at a distance, say at a distance of 10 meters, what is the energy which is being transmitted by this antenna, or what is the energy that will be received by this antenna? So that is what we have to look out for. So we can move around this antenna in any direction, say from bottom to up, which we call as the elevation angle, and we have the longitudinal angle, which is we move from, say, left to right. So when we move around that, we'll be having the different energy, which different energies which are being received by this antenna which you are considering. So now, when if we assume that there is an antenna in between, say for example, if I consider here, if there is an antenna in between, and if I try to measure at a particular distance and move around, say I move around the along the phi angle and I move along the theta angle. Theta is the elevation, and the phi angle is called the azimuth angle. So if I move around that angle, and if I note down what is the radiation or the electromagnetic energy which is being, say, transmitted by that antenna which is at the center of this axis, say XYZ axis. So when I have this, I'll be having, say, this is one example what they have shown here. So it might be, the radiation might be distributed in this form. So this is the three-dimensional representation. Now imagine if you slice this, if you take a cross section of this one, if you take a cross section, what happens is you will get a circle over here, you will get a circle over here. So it might be in somewhat in this form. It might be somewhat in this form. So you will be getting a circle or say a ellipse kind of thing. So it might be in this form. So when I see it from the top section, and if I say slice it along the phi plane, if I slice it along the phi plane, I might see just a circle in 2 dimensions. So this is how it will be appearing. You will be having a circle representation in one angle, and in another angle, you might be having this infinite symbol representation. So this is just an example what we are considering. So here, this pattern, what we are seeing is called as a radiation pattern. That is, it is the electromagnetic energy which is being transmitted by the antenna, which is under consideration, Now, by this definition, right, that is the electromagnetic energy, what we are considering around the antenna, around this antenna. If this radiation happens to be uniform throughout, whether you move from the whether you move with respect to the elevation angle or whether you move with respect to the azimuth angle. So if you try to measure the radiation at all the points, and if it turns out to be equal at all the points, so at particular given distance it turns out to be equal at all the points, so in that case we call the antenna as a isotropic antenna. We call it as a isotropic antenna. So I was talking about the azimuth angle and the elevation angle. So if you remember, right, you have studied, say, the three, that is XYZ three-dimensional representation. So here, if you have X, Y, and Z directions, if you have X, Y, and Z directions, say, let this be Z, it will be X, Y, Z. So if you have X, Y, Z direction, right, in a field theory, if you remember, so if I move from this direction to this direction, that is along XY plane, if I move along XY plane, what I have the angle which we call as phi, which we call as phi, which we call it as what? Azimuth angle, which we call as azimuth angle. Now we have another one, that is, we say start from say here we have the negative Z direction. We have the negative Z direction. If we move from, say, if we move from this point to this point, so we have what we call as theta representation or elevation. It is the elevation. It is the elevation angle. It is the elevation angle. So in a field theory, you have come across these concepts. So now imagine that you have an antenna which is present over here. You have an antenna which is present over here. So now what I'll do is, I'll take, so you have Z, Y, and X. So if you have an antenna if you have an antenna which is present at this point. Now what I'll do is at one particular distance, say I'll consider a particular distance, say at a distance r, at a distance r. So this is r, but this will be given along with the what parameters again. It will be having like, say it is at phi, and the elevation angle is theta. So we have what, r, theta, 5 coordinate for any one particular point. So for a particular given distance r, for a particular given distance r, if there is an antenna which you are considering at this location, if you're considering an antenna at this location, and at this given distance, you start measuring what this antenna radiates. That is, you start to measure the electromagnetic energy at this point. So what you do is you take different points. So at phi equal to 0, what is the value? That is at distance r only you consider. At phi equal to 0, what it is. At phi equal to say 10 degrees, what it is. At phi equal to 20 degrees, what it is. So on you continue up to say 360 degrees. For elevation angle, you start from say at 0 degree, theta equal to 0 degrees, how much is the value? But you're considering the distance same. That is r is unaltered. Only theta and phi will be varying. So what happens is when you try to measure those values, right? When you try to measure those values, you will be getting the different values for the electromagnetic energy what you are considering for this antenna which is at this point. So now when you measure this and combine those values, when you measure this and combine those values, what happens is you can get a radiation pattern which can be of any form. So this is one example what they have displayed here. Okay, this is one example. This is one example. So similarly, if I try to see in 3 dimensions, so here is another radiation pattern, another radiation pattern. So here you can see that it is a balloon shape. So here it is only 2 dimensional, that is only along one angle at a given distance at one angle you are measuring it. So this is 3 dimension. This is 3 dimensional representation. This is 3 dimensional representation. So later on again we'll be discussing all these things, but you should know what is actually radiation pattern over here. So when we have a particular antenna along a particular antenna, say at this point, and we measure at different points and we plot that pattern, we can get different electromagnetic energy values at that point. So if we plot it, we'll get say 2 dimensional, and if we combine both the 2 dimensional, that is along theta and phi angle, right, we'll be getting 3 dimensional representation of the radiation. So now in this case, if in case of isotropic antenna, in case of isotropic antenna, if I consider a distance r, and if I keep on changing this phi value at one particular distance, and if I keep on changing this phi value at all the points, I'll be getting the same value. Say if I got a radiation value of, say for example 10, at another angle also I'll be getting 10, at another angle also I'll be getting 10, at another angle also I'll be getting 10, and so on. Similarly, if I measure it along the elevation angle, if I measure it along this angle, so if I measure it at this point, say I'm getting 10 over here. If I measure at this point, I'm getting 10 over here. If I measure at this point, I'm getting 10 over here. So on. So here, what happens is you can see that when we observe along, say phi, this thing, the radiation pattern will be a circle in 2 dimensional. For phi or the azimuth angle also, it will be a circle. For the elevation angle or the theta angle also, it will be a circle. So now imagine you combine two circles. Imagine you combine two circles, and you rotate that two circles. You just say rotate it, and you will be able to observe a sphere over there. You'll be able to observe a sphere. So an isotropic antenna in other way will be having a radiation pattern which is spherical in shape. Will be having a radiation pattern which is spherical in shape. and in two-dimensional it is circular in shape. In both azimuth and phi, this thing, it is circular in shape. So in order to make you understand this, we had to discuss regarding a radiation pattern. So what is actually radiation pattern? Radiation pattern is the distribution of the electromagnetic energy. It's a distribution of the electromagnetic energy. So if you have an antenna, and if I measure at different points, if I measure at different points, so I'll be getting different electromagnetic energy values. So radiation pattern will give you a representation which will give you the information regarding distribution of the electromagnetic energy around the antenna which is under consideration. It will give you this entire information. So if you consider antenna and you start measuring, it will give you the different electromagnetic energy values at different angles, at different angles. So in by definition, what we have, an antenna is a physical entity which radiates electromagnetic energy in the space which is surrounding the antenna. And when I consider the isotropic antenna, right? Isotropic antenna will be radiating equal amount of electromagnetic energy in all the direction. It will be radiating equal amount of energy in all the direction. Uh, Isotropic antenna is a ideal antenna. Isotropic is ideal antenna. Practically, we don't have antenna which radiates equally in all directions. Practically, we don't have any antenna which radiates equally in all direction. So therefore, what we consider is isotropic antenna is the reference point. It is the reference point for, say, identifying how the other antennas are performing. Isotropic antenna acts as a reference point in order to identify how the other antennas are operating, how they are different from the isotropic representation. Practically, I don't have any isotropic antenna which radiates equally in all direction. Sessions. So we have alternate definition for radiation. For antenna. So what is that definition is? So before going into this definition, right, I will first check out what is basically antenna in its representation. So here we have it. So here we have a representation which is related to antenna. So in this we have a transmitter section which is having a generator. Then you have a guided, you have a waveguide or the transmission line which we call, which will carry the guided waves, and then you have a tapering end which is represented over here. This tapering end represents the antenna. It represents the antenna part. Now here what is happening is, whatever say electromagnetic energy which is present, it is being guided from this point till this point, that is along the transmission line. And when it encounters the tapering end, right, here the transition starts to happen. The transition is in terms of what? It is from guided waves to spherical waves. The transition starts to happen from guided wave to spherical waves. So here what happens is, when the waves encounter the tapering end, they try to jump out of this tapering end. So this is where the radiation starts to take place. So now when we look at these waves, right, these are the spherical waves. When we look at these waves from a far off distance, it appears as though it is straight, when we look it from the far end, so it spreads around. So if you just consider, it will be spreading around, and when it reaches the receiving end, right, it will be appearing as though it is a plane wave, as though it is a plane wave. So now here what happens is, again at the receiving end, you have a tapering section, which is actually called the antenna. And again here the transition part starts. So in this case, what happens is, the spherical waves which were transmitted will be converted into the guided waves, will be converted into the guided waves. So now here, if you just look at this antenna structure, right, what we have is, this antenna is converting guided wave to spherical waves. It is converted guided waves to spherical waves. And at receiving end, it is converting the spherical waves to guided waves. It is converting this plane waves or the spherical waves which have been transmitted to guided waves. So this is what is happening at the transmitter and the receiver section respectively. Therefore, by this, what happens is, we can define antenna as a transducer. It is converting one form to the other form. It is converting one form to the other form. We can consider antenna as a transducer which converts guided wave to spherical waves, and vice versa. It is converting guided wave to spherical waves and vice versa. So this is what is happening in case of the antenna. So this is another definition of antenna. Now, if I try to give an analogy, right? Suppose if you are, so therefore we have alternate definition of antenna, that is, an antenna can be regarded as a transducer. It can be regarded as a transducer. So what does a transducer do? It converts one form into the other form. It converts one form into the other form. So here, what is the antenna converting? So antenna is converting the spherical waves to plane waves and vice versa. So this is another representation. So that is what we saw over here, right, in the diagram. That is what we are considering. So apart from that, an antenna can also be defined as a transducer which converts a guided wave into the transmitted wave. That is a guided wave into a spherical wave. So it can be considered as a transducer which is converting a guided wave into a spherical wave, or we can term it as a radiated wave. So there are different definitions possible in this case. So here, what we have guided wave to spherical waves, guided wave to free space wave also it is, we can term it. So antenna is considered as a transducer which converts guided wave into a free space wave, or it converts this guided wave into the spherical wave. So, and here if we just observe, what is happening is, in this part, the spherical waves which you're seeing, and at a long distance when we observe, it gets changed to plane waves. When we observe this spherical waves from a long distance, we observe the plane waves. Now, what is actually this plane waves and other this thing? Those are the wave fronts. Those are actually the wave fronts. Now, what is basically a wave front? A wave front is basically a surface which contains points that are affected in the same way at any given time. Now, for example, I have one reference point here. Say I have an antenna, and if I consider a wavefront which is spherical in nature, if I consider a wavefront which is spherical in nature, what is this wavefront information giving me? If I consider any point on this, all these points are affected in the same manner by this antenna. All this, all these points are affected in the same manner by this antenna. So it can be spherical in nature, it can be plane in nature, that it can be a straight line if you observe. So that is what is happening. Now, why spherical waves appear to be, uh, plane waves? Now, when we consider a point over here, and if we assume that the wavefront keeps on moving, say it is spherical in nature, so what happens is, if you consider at a very long distance, if you consider at a very long distance, this spherical wavefronts, this spherical wavefronts, when I stand, when another parameter is over here, or if I stand and observe these wavefronts, right, what happens is this wavefronts will appear as though it is in plane in nature. This wavefront will appear as though it is plane in nature. So here I can make out that it is spherical. But as I move further and further, right, what happens is this appears as though it is a plane wave. It is having a plane wavefront. So therefore, we have the alternate definition for antenna also, in which antenna is converting the spherical wave into a plane wave. So even that definition is holds true for a given antenna. So this is with respect to different antenna definitions what we have. Now we come across with the basic parameters of antenna. The basic parameters of antenna. It will include few of the things over here. That is, it will include the current, which is time variant. It will include current, which is time variant. Then it will include the charge. Then it will include the length of the current element which we are considering, and it also includes the velocity, which is again time dependent. So which is nothing but acceleration in a general term. That is, time changing velocity is nothing but the acceleration. So these are the basic parameters which related to the antenna. So when we consider it in equation form, right, we have a basic radiation equation over here. So what does this basic radiation equation represent? It represents I into L, which is equal to Q into V. So what does this specify? This specifies the basic radiation equation, where this current I dot represents the time changing current. So since it is time changing, it is ampere per second. And length, which L is related to the length of the current element, which is given in meter. So if I just consider its SI unit, this one is in ampere per second and this one is in meter. So its unit can be ampere meter per second. Ampere meter per second. Next on the right hand side, we have Q, which represents the charge, and we have V dot, which represents the time change of velocity, which is actually equal to acceleration, which is given by meter per second per square second. So this is your basic radiation equation of the antenna. So now, apart from this, we have another concept which we call as radiation resistance. We represent it as radiation resistance. So in this case, we have a transmitter, we have a transmission line, we have the tapering end, which is actually the antenna, And suppose there is another antenna, how that antenna, that is the receiving antenna, how that receiving antenna sees this transmitting antenna. How this receiving antenna sees this transmitting antenna. That is what radiation resistance specifies. That is what radiation resistance specifies. So in coming fourth session, right, we'll have in-depth discussion regarding the radiation resistance. So when we have a transmitting antenna and we have a receiving antenna, how the receiving antenna is viewing this transmitting antenna, it is checked with the help of this radiation resistance. So what does this imply? It implies that this receiving antenna looks at this transmitting antenna in the form of a resistance, which we call as radiation resistance. And remember, this radiation resistance is not real, but it's a virtual resistance. It's a virtual resistance. So these are a few things pertaining to antenna parameters. So in coming forth sessions, right, we'll be discussing regarding directivity, gain, then the other parameters, that is field zones and other stuffs. So so some of the basic representations, what is required for antenna discussion, right? We'll just discuss that, and we'll be winding up this session by discussing this part. So you have three coordinate system. That is, one is your rectangular coordinate system, and one is your cylindrical coordinate system, and another one is the spherical coordinate system. So when we are dealing with the radiation pattern and antenna representations, right, our foremost interest will be basically with the spherical system. So whenever we consider along the XYZ axis, right, if we consider an antenna, we have to look out how this antenna is radiating at a particular distance and at different angles, say along phi and along theta. So if in this case, what happens is we have to look forward for our theta phi components. So these are the components what we have to look out for when we are dealing with antenna. So therefore, our foremost interest is related to the spherical coordinate system. So when we consider spherical coordinate system, a few of the parameters we should know. So when we consider R, say when we consider R, so R will be in the range of, it can be 0 and it can extend up to what? It can extend up to infinity. The range of R is from 0 to infinity. So similarly, the next one, azimuth angle. What is the range of the azimuth angle? So in this case, right, this will give you the azimuth angle. So in if I consider it in that form, say along the YZ plane or along the horizontal plane, what we call as horizontal plane. So here, if I consider phi representation, right, that is azimuth representation, its value will be from 0 degrees to total 360 degrees. So in radians, it will be from 0 radians to 2 pi radians. It will be 0 radians to 2 pi radians. So it will be like actually holding a plane and moving it across, moving it in this direction, holding a plane and moving it along that direction. Now, what about the elevation angle? What is the range of elevation angle? So in this case, say in this case, we are having it in this form. So we are assuming that X is present in the elevation direction. So in previous discussion, we had shown Z. It will not make any problems, but just be complacent with your representations. So here, when we are considering elevation angle, the name itself tells that it gives some representation related to elevation. So if I move from this point, the maximum elevation can be up to this point. So in this direction, it will be in the negative. So here, if I just observe, what happens is theta, this elevation angle which is there, this theta will range from say 0 degrees to 180 degrees. 0 degrees to 180 degrees. So it is elevation. So if I check out from this direction, it will be from again 0 to 180 degrees. 0 to 180 degrees. Therefore, the range of theta is 0 to pi or 0 to 180 degrees. So these are a few parameters what we should know when we are dealing with the antenna, as these are required in the forthcoming sessions. So then apart from that, we have to know what is meant by differential length along each direction. What is meant by differential length along each direction? So in along R direction, right? along r direction, differential length is given by dr. Differential length is given by dr, and differential length along theta direction is d theta into r. D theta into r. Now, if you want to know why it comes out in this form, is you have to imagine a cube over here. You have to imagine a cube, and you have to consider one point. You have to imagine a cube, and you have to consider one point on this cube. You have to consider one point on this cube, and say from this point to this point it is r. So with respect to this, you have to measure all the points using a geometric analysis. So here it will be um, r into d theta, r into d theta. And along phi direction, right, it will be r sine theta into d phi. It will be r sine theta into d phi. So this is what we are having with respect to spherical coordinate system.